Look, I'm stuck on the M25. This isn't my van. This is a van I had to hire because I haven't got a tow bar on my van. So I hired this van and I've just drove 150 miles. I'm 10 miles from my destination and I broke down. Let me get in the car. Well, here we are again. It's an absolute pouring down with rain out here at the moment, but we're under the carport. I'll show you what I've been up to over the last couple of days. Everything went wrong, but we've got over it in the end. And Jim is back working on the Mini. What are you up to here, Jim?
Just stripping the front scuttle panel.
So, what have you done so far? Let's just have a look around the car. You've done the wings, they've been prepped. And you started stripping this again, didn't you? Because there was a few imperfections in it. And how many coats of paint did you get off there?
11.
11 coats of paint. You used a magic paint stripper, and as you can probably see down here, people, the amount of paint that is actually on these on this car. And basically now all these wings that he's done, it's virtually been resprayed again apart from the doors and the roof. So you can probably hear that rain out there at the moment. But I'm working on the carburetors at the moment because Jimmy's got he passed his part 1 theory test, as you know. He's going to be taking his part 2 test very shortly. So the weather's not with us at the moment, as you can see. So I'm trying to get the car running. We're going to try and get the car running as soon as possible. And up until then, I've actually got another project as well. So I had to go to London the other day to pick up this other vehicle, which you haven't seen yet. And because I didn't have a tow bar on my van, I actually hired a van out and also hired a trailer. So the distance I had to travel to pick this vehicle up was 151 miles, just on the M25. I live in Lincolnshire, in the UK, as you probably know, and it was 151 miles. And I hired a local van out with a tow bar, and in another location I hired a little car trailer out. I got all the way down onto the M25, 10 miles from my destination. And I broke down in one of the middle lanes on the M25, and I luckily enough just coasted over into the hard shoulder between junction 16 heading towards junction 15 on the M25. I'm in the AA, but I didn't have no cards on me, so I went to one of those little boxes that you telephone from, and I told the person there that I'm in the AA, and they said that they'll send someone out. I waited about an hour. They sent out a local company. And I did inform the bloke that I was a transit van and a trailer, and he pulled over and he didn't have a towing hook. So I had to wait there for another hour, and they then sent another vehicle out, but they put the van on the trailer that was already there, and when they sent the other vehicle down, that was exactly the same lorry but with a towing hook, and they put the trailer on that one. So they took me off the motorway to a safe place about 5 miles away. And I had to wait there for another, about an hour again, before another vehicle came that was supposed to take me on the way home. Now, because I was only 10 miles from my destination, I asked these chaps if there was any chance that they could go the extra distance, pick the vehicle up, put it on the trailer and come home with me, bearing in mind I would have given them £50 extra just as a little perk, so to speak. It was only 10 miles away. But they said, well, we're not taking you home, you'll have to wait and ask the next bloke who comes along. And anyway, he said it'll probably be another local garage, it won't be the AA. But who turns up? An hour later, the AA. And they couldn't do it because all their vehicles have got trackers in, and they got tachographs, and all their times recorded if they go off route. And as a result of that, this AA driver loaded the vehicle up, the transit on the back of it, and the trailer towing along. But he said he couldn't take me the whole distance, he could only take me to Leicester, which was still about 90 miles from my house. So I ended up going to Leicester, waiting there. I got there about 5:30, and I waited there till 7 o'clock till another AA vehicle pulled up and he brought me home. But I still had the problem of getting the trailer back to the place I hired it from, because I only hired it on a 24-hour basis. So I had the van that was broken down, and they were both dropped off outside the front of my house, and he tended to think that it was a fuel pump that was on its way out on the van. So I started it up the next morning, the van, and it started. Now where I hire the trailer from my house, is about 6 miles. So I took a chance, so I put the trailer back on the van, started towing up the road, and I broke down probably a quarter of a mile from my house. That was at 7 o'clock in the morning. I rang the bloke whose van it was, and I rang the trailer company to tell him what had happened. I ended up getting a recovery bloke come out to pick the van up, and he lent me his van to take the trailer back. So that was the first day. The second day, I thought, well, I've got to pick the car up. I had to tell the bloke I couldn't pick it up. So the next day was spent hunting around getting a new tow bar on my van. As you can see there, I've now got on my own van a tow bar. So yesterday I done it all again. I attempted to go down to London again. I hired the trailer out for a day. I will say that about the local hire firm, Frisney's in Horncastle. They didn't charge me the full, they charged me only half price. They just charged me tyre wear because of the hassle I've had. Lovely service, highly recommend if you're going to hire a trailer, go to Frisney's in Horncastle. There you go. So anyway, I've done it again. This time, no problems whatsoever. And this is what I've brought. Now, everyone in the UK will recognise this as a Reliant Robin three-wheeled van. Now, I've brought this for the sole intention of turning it into a replica Only Fools and Horses van, as seen in the TV show Only Fools and Horses, which is a UK cult TV show which has been around since the 80s. Now, this is a great little find. It's not the original that appeared in the show, although very, very similar. The one that appeared in the show is a Reliant Regal. This is a Reliant Robin. Very, very similar. The nearest one to it out of all the Reliant ranges. It's all fiberglass. It's got an 850cc engine in it. This one doesn't go. It's been stood for over 8 years under a lock-up somewhere. But it's basically all there. And this is going to be one fun conversion. So from you, my viewers from either Europe or all over America, if you're not familiar with this model, if you go to YouTube and type in Only Fools and Horses, and you will see the van in question, and it will be done out exactly the same way. And I may even keep it, I'm not sure yet, or I may just out it. But it's going to be a complete sort of replica of all the sign writing on the van and everything. So they do catch glimpses wherever you go. And there's a few accessories which I've got to get for it. I've got to get a roof rack on the back here. I've just ordered the blow-up doll. Those of you who watch the series will know about the blow-up doll, which will be poking its head through the window. I've got the brown leather suitcase to go on it, and the inside door panels, which you can't see, I've got it locked up at the moment. The inside door panels there are going to be done with fake fur, leopard skin fake fur, and it's basically all there. And I actually think it's had a new exhaust on. Whether it's a stainless steel one, I don't know if you can see that. It actually looks like it's had a brand new stainless steel exhaust on at some time. So there we go. That's our Only Fools and Horses replica van, which you will be seeing on this channel. So stick around. It won't be yet because I've still got to get the try for claim out first. So as you know, I've been ill for over a week now. So the finishing touches I've got with the try for claim is I've just got to take the front and rear bumpers off. I've got to pop the windscreen shields out. I've got a brand new rubber to go on this one. I told you I bought that. So that's going on there. All that's really got, I've got to take the wing mirrors off, which are attached via the inside. So that's the last bit there. And also the front bumpers have got to come off as well. And then what's going to happen then, we're just going to treat all the little bits of rust around the bodywork. And then we're going to give it a light sand over. And we'll prime the areas what we need to have done. And then we'll be ready. It won't all be primed. I won't need to prime all of this. I've actually bought the paint at the moment. But we'll just prime the areas that I've treated, and we'll give the rest of the surface a nice key up, and that then will be ready for the base coat, so which is cashmere gold, I think it is, if I remember rightly. So that's already there basically. I've ordered some parts. I've got a new timing belt to go on it. I've also got a new oil filter. I'll probably do an oil change as well, and I'll tidy up the engine bay and possibly just cover up all the ancillary stuff, and then just give the engine bay a bit of a blow over as well. So that's what's happening there. As you know, the van's got a new clutch in it, so I'm going to try and get this thing as near to damn it as running. We have noticed an oil leak on it from underneath from somewhere, but we're not too sure exactly what that is. We've still got the dashboard to finish off, but for temporary we're just going to put the clocks in, connect the clocks up so that we've at least got some sort of warning lights, power lights or whatever. We don't know what else is needed there. So I'm just going around now to the log cabin. I'm just working on the carbs at the moment because they was all. He's actually got 2 carbs with this. They're all gummed up, and you know, the problem we've got there is that they need cleaning out. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. The RS Turbo, as you can see, Gary's got the bumpers back on. We're just waiting for some trim to go back on around the edge of the bumpers there. He's got the rear skirts on now, the rear bumper, sorry, and he's also got the rear fin back on, so it's starting to look again how it should do. All that he's got to go on now is the lower skirts around here and around the wheel arches, so that's near enough done basically there. So as you can see, it's looking very nice at the moment. The Mini's now getting there, as you can see. This is nearly ready for paint again, and it's all coming together. And we've got so much on, so we're not going to specify this one video here for just one particular car. We've just shown you a little smorgasbord of all what we're doing at the moment. That's a big word, Jimmy, isn't it?
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it. There we go. So I'm just going to go outside, and Jimmy's going to carry on doing this. What are you doing with your bike, Jimmy? Anything? Look at the state of it.
Giving it a good clean.
Giving it a good clean. Make sure it's on the centre stand properly. We don't want it falling on the RS Turbo, do we?
Might improve it.
Right, okay. You carry on out here then. It's raining at the moment, and we're going to hopefully, well, we won't get it running today, but we might try and get it running today. See how we go. Right, so here's my ultrasonic cleaner, and what I've got the carb strip down here. I've already done this one, but this is a smaller carb, you see, that come with the Mini. This one's never been fitted, but as I say, this one I'm not going to put on for the moment. I'm going to actually put on the carb that was on the Mini when it was actually running. So it's a slightly bigger one. It's a big, I think it's 1 3/4 inch this one, I'm not too sure. But I've got my ultrasonic cleaner here, and I'm just going to pour in some off the boil water. Now this one I've got has actually got a heating element inside it, but to save me time, this kettle boils a lot quicker than this heating element. So I'm just going to pour that in there like that, and I'm going to get some white spirit. It's called Eco Spirit, this one, and I'm just going to put a bit of that in as some sort of a agent for loosening up dirt and grease. So while that's in there like that, I'm now going to drop in all the different component parts. Now, as you can probably see there, I don't know if you can see that, that's all scoured up there. It's in a very bad state. So I'll just drop that in there. I'm going to put that in there as well. Be careful not to bend the needle. The dash pot I'm going to put in there like that, and the carb body as well. I've removed as much as I can out of this, as I say, but I'm just going to put that in there as well, if I can get it in there, bearing in mind it's roasting hot here. I can always agitate things and turn things around. Just to give you a closer look, let's turn the unit on now. Hold on. Right, I've just turned the unit on. Now 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm going to put a 10-minute one on first of all. And what you'll probably find when I turn it on, you'll see dirt start to just lift off. As you can see there, I don't know if you can see that sort of foaming action, or the action, that's all the dirt being lifted off the surface there. You may or may not be able to hear me, I'm not too sure, but let's just watch this for a minute just so you can see exactly what this thing does. Right, well there we go. I'll leave that like that running now for another 10 minutes. I may do another cycle and then I'll come back to you at the end. Right, okay. All out of the ultrasonic cleaner, and it's had a good blowout with the air hose as well. Looking in a far better condition now than what it was before it went in. There's a little float chamber there, as you can see. Look, that's all lovely and free now, and all the jets are nice and clean. So I'm just going to reassemble this lot now, put it back together, and I'll see you again in a minute. As you can see, just on this little quarter panel here, there's loads of old filler there. Now that's probably where, because did it have new panels put in this? I can't remember.
Yeah, well, not this sort of place.
That hasn't been replaced. No. That's original. Well, where we've done repairs before here, as you can probably see there, there's under that orange paint there, you can see the depth of filler that's been used there. So Jimmy's just digging all that out now and just seeing what's underneath it before he actually applies any sort of finish to this now. So that's what he's doing here. Right, okay, well I'm just going to try and fit this carb now, and we'll see you in a minute. Right, well we've got the carb in place. There's lots of hoses which have got to be connected, which I don't know where they go because I didn't strip the thing down. And Jimmy can't remember because it was years and years ago and it was actually Gary's car, so we're not too sure. I'm going to have to consult the manual and look at that. The engine bay, I'll give it a little bit of a clean up. It had loads and loads of dust all over it, so that's one step nearer. We've connected the throttle cable up and adjusted that, that's okay. We've checked the water, we've added some more coolant and antifreeze. We've checked the oil, topped up the oil, so that's ready to go. We've just connected up obviously the fuel line because it's had the new fuel pump on it as well. And we've also put the fuel tank in, connected the fuel sender up and also connected the hose up. We've also connected the electrical cables. We're going to need a new cable that goes from the engine bay to the starter solenoid right the way down to the battery, because underneath the insulation's broken in places and that's not a very good thing to have anyway. So that's a job for another day. We're not going to get to start it now obviously because although Jimmy's got a brand new battery, the battery's actually flat. So we're going to whack that on charge anyway before we actually try and turn the engine over. And we'll probably do that in the next episode anyway. So, well, I hope you see we've had a lot of fun today basically, just playing about with the car. And you like the new projects we've got coming up. We'll show you the garden in another video, so look forward to that one. And what you say? Say ta-ra to everybody, Jimmy.
Ta-ra.
Louder, Jimmy.
Ta-ra.
Ta-ra, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.